It whispered at me, "Hey, Misto, come and eat." It made me cold in my bones.
Today we're looking at a case file that sits right at this truly terrifying intersection. You've got the sterile, clinical science of the SCP Foundation on one hand, and then ancient, blood-soaked folklore on the other. Our subject today? SCP-323, better known as the Wendigo Skull.
Section 1. Special Containment Procedures, Site-91's maximum security. Okay, let's dive into this. Imagine you're standing in the cold, maximum security vaults of Site-91. There's a bizarre, almost dread-inducing contrast here. We're talking about an object, a weathered piece of bone, that's just 55 by 27 centimeters. Pretty small, right? Yet it demands a massive 17-meter cubed solid concrete vault, completely locked behind transparent armor that is 8.8 centimeters thick. Why on earth does a little piece of bone need the kind of vault you'd use for high-yield explosives? Well, the answer lies in the insanely strict rules required just to survive walking into that room. You've got bi-weekly integrity checks on the armor, and you absolutely must have an armed guard escort. But the real kickers are those last two rules. There's a hard 45-minute exposure limit, and you are strictly forbidden from speaking English or French around it. It's a ticking clock, complete with bizarre linguistic triggers. Section 2. The Anomalous Cervid Skull, an ancient, restless bone. So, what exactly is sitting inside that shadowy, freezing cell? The object is classified as an unidentified cervid, or deer-like skull. It's heavily scarred, totally bleached white on the top from the elements, and it's missing its lower jaw entirely. It projects this deep sense of unnatural cold, literally forming frosty condensation. But the absolute most terrifying detail is right at the back of the skull. There's this oval gap, about 25 by 23 centimeters, and the Foundation confirmed this wasn't natural decay. It actually shows distinct marks from stone tools, so someone or something deliberately carved a hole into the back of this bone by hand. Now, what's really interesting here is the concept of sapience. The ability to think, reason, actually possess consciousness. The Foundation seriously suspects this bleached piece of bone might be aware. Why? Well, because it actively targets specific personnel, and it reacts violently if it hears English or French. It is listening. And not only is it listening, it's moving. This supposedly dead piece of bone is capable of limited locomotion. Sitting there in the damp concrete, it actually vibrates. If you try to touch it, it recoils. If someone walks into the chamber, it physically turns to face them. And, most alarmingly of all, it can make these sudden, incredibly violent lunges, repeatedly throwing itself against that thick, transparent armor trying to break out. Section 3. The SCP-3231 Transformation. From Clinical to Chaos. This is where we pivot away from the sterile containment facts and straight into a hyper-realistic biological nightmare. 15. That is the radius, in meters, of the skull's influential effect. If you stand within 15 meters for just one continuous hour, your psychological profile just unravels, leading to violent outbursts and overwhelming cannibalistic thoughts. The sequence of events here is just a horrifying psychological breakdown. After that single hour of exposure, roughly 74% of victims will attempt to force their head right through that carved gap in the back of the skull. And here's the truly disturbing part. If their head doesn't fit, their mind is so utterly compromised that they will literally bludgeon their own head against the floor or walls. They will destroy their own skull just to make that anomaly fit over their face. Once it's equipped, the human is gone. They become classified as SCP-323-1. Let's move to and see how this builds, because the physical timeline of this transformation is brutally fast. Minute 0, the skull is equipped. Within just 10 minutes, the body undergoes extreme hypermetabolic decay and frostbite. And by minute 30, if they haven't fed on human flesh, the host dies of sheer starvation. Their metabolism skyrockets so violently that the body literally consumes itself. Visually, the transformation is incredibly gruesome. The host loses almost all body fat, hair, and pigment practically overnight. Their skin turns pale and their fingertips violently rupture. They grow these abnormal, jagged teeth. Their extremities turn a cold, metallic black and blue, which is consistent with severe frostbite. And yet, despite this insane physical degradation, the entity gains unbelievable strength and an ungodly pain tolerance, driven 100% by a relentless hunger for human flesh. Section 4. Containment Breach. Incident 11. To really grasp the true threat of this anomaly, we need to look at the frantic, dark reality of a tactical breach that happened at Site-91, which actually left 12 Foundation personnel dead. We don't have the video surveillance, but the recovered audio logs, they paint a terrifying picture. Just imagine the heavy, wet dragging sound of this freezing, emaciated creature moving down a dark corridor. Then, a sickening crack as it dispatches a guard. Through the surveillance system, the entity was recorded saying,
Hungry, so hungry. I must eat, so very hungry. Always, always hungry.
The panic in those logs just escalates.
Alone, hungry, should eat, must eat them all. I must eat to know warmth.
The sheer tragedy of this is profound. The Foundation notes that it's actually unclear if these words are the skull itself speaking or if the victim's lingering original human mind is trapped inside, completely aware of what it's doing, trapped as this ravenous, freezing monster desperate for a shred of warmth. And adding to the incredibly eerie nature of this breach, the creature doesn't just stick to the host's native language. While hunting, it actually speaks in several Ojibwe, Potawatomi, and Cree. Suddenly, this clinical scientific anomaly, tracked with timelines and concrete cells, is tied directly back to ancient indigenous languages and deep, deep mythology. Section 5. The Bitter Lake Discovery. Appeasing the Wendigo.
Let's slow down for a second and look at where this thing actually came from. Back in September 1997, deep in a dark, isolated wilderness in Saskatchewan, Canada, the Foundation uncovered a small, unregistered community. But they weren't just living quietly off the grid. This community had been systematically sustaining an active instance of SCP-323-1. They were routinely murdering individuals, leaving the bodies out in the woods as an appeasement just to feed the creature. They were hiding a terrifying mythological reality right under the nose of the modern world.
Consider the stark contrast between the myth and the reality here. The ancient Cree stories speak of warriors who tried to control the Wendigo, to gain a tactical advantage in battle. But the gritty reality the Foundation uncovered was so much darker. This wasn't about controlling a weapon. This was a mass murder cult where villagers were forced to slaughter their own friends just to keep the beast fed and away from their families. And this brilliantly illustrates the horrific psychological toll it took on the locals. James Namagus, one of the villagers who was actually involved in moving the bodies, was interviewed by the Foundation. He explained exactly why he didn't run when the monster appeared. He said,
I could hear him in my mind. I could feel him watching me from out of my own eyes. This helped me watch these people die, and I hoped it would pass on my family.
The entity just exerted this overwhelming psychological hold, literally calming the villagers into complicity, which leaves us with a deeply unsettling mystery to ponder. Based on everything we've unpacked today, the language triggers, the tool marks, the insane hypermetabolism, and the ancient mythologies, what exactly is locked inside Site-91? Is the Foundation simply containing a highly dangerous, mind-altering biological anomaly? Or have they managed to lock an ancient, sapient, malevolent spirit inside a concrete box, hiding behind a weathered, hand-carved bone? I hope this gave you a solid, structured understanding of SCP-323. This concludes today's briefing. If you wish to maintain your current clearance level and ensure continued access to the Versarian database, a subscription to this channel is mandatory. Secure your connection by leaving a like on this file, and log your requests in the comments section below to dictate which anomaly we unseal next. Stay vigilant and expect your next set of logs every day. Secure, contain, protect.